guys, Oz here, woohoo! So, second video back. This is my couch to half marathon video because, there are all those couch to 5K posts on Pinterest and blogs, so I thought I did a couch to half marathon, which will come up later, so why not talk about it? So, I ran the Oklahoma City Memorial Marathon. I did the half marathon. I'm going to give memorial to the Oklahoma City bombing, and I'm going to briefly explain to you guys what happened. So, let me get my coffee because it's still morning here. I'll shut the AC off because it's cold. So, in the late 90s, an Oklahoma State building was bombed. There were fatalities and some were children. Now, this happened in the late 90s. It was an anti-government act. The man who did it was named Timothy McVeigh. Now, a little bit more background, obviously. He was anti-government. He never really fit in high school. He was nicknamed Noodle McVeigh. This led him to really hate and resent bullies. Now, he did join the military for a little bit. Now, he grew up really loving guns, things like that. So he really fit in here. He excelled somewhere. He loved it. He did go to war, and he really started to hate it. This is probably where he started to become anti-government. He didn't see the reason for killing people like that. So he didn't like it anymore. And he was going to leave the military, but he didn't. He stayed in it for a few reasons when he got home. Eventually he did leave it. They wanted him to join a certain task force, and because of his build and his stature, he wasn't fit enough, and so he couldn't join it. That is when he did leave the military. Now, Timothy McVeigh was anti-government after this. He was obsessed with a book called The Turner Diaries. I will try and insert pictures as we go along. So he was obsessed with a book called The Turner Diaries. Now, this is an anti-government fiction. Not going to go into the book, but in the book there is a bomb built, and that is where he learned how to build the bomb that he put in the back of a U-Haul styled truck. Now, the reason he did this was because there was a huge instance in Waco, Texas. There was an anti-government group, and they were basically like a community. They had women, children, things like that. They had their own church, their own schooling, whatever. Like I said, it was a full-blown community. They were anti-government. Now, a mailman had learned that they had a lot of firearm, so he did report it to the government. So the government went to shut it down. The government went to shut it down, and they found out about this. One of the FBI agents actually had asked for directions from somebody in that community, so he informed, the rest of the community that the FBI was coming. So they basically set up for this not to happen. So they locked themselves in. I believe there were a few shootouts. No fatalities to my recollection from this until later. So it took about 30 days, a little over 30 days, for the government to really bring an end to it. They were going to put tear gas, I believe, in the building to really draw them out. Now, throughout these days, the leader of this community had sent people out, some women and children out, but there were people left in the building. Now, when they had heard, actually, the FBI talk about putting tear gas in the building, so they set the building on fire with themselves in it, and this is where the fatalities occurred. Now, during this 30 or so days, Timothy McVeigh had heard about it. Now, in Waco, there was a hill across the way from the community plant, and people would park, try to look at the action, watch what was happening. Timothy McVeigh did this, and he sold anti-government stickers. He felt the whole thing was outrageous. He felt that the government was just bullying these people, and that it was completely unnecessary, and it infuriated him. So at this point, he did turn to the Turner Diaries. I believe it was the 2-year anniversary of the Waco incident, and Timothy McVeigh built a bomb in the back of a U-Haul style truck, and like I said, blew up part of the Murr building. Now, he did have 2 people who were helping him, but these 2 people threw out the entirety of building this bomb and getting things together. It kind of hit them what they were doing and what was going to happen to these people, and they did back out. Timothy McVeigh, however, wanted to take all the credit for it, and he did. He did acknowledge those 2 men, but he didn't give them any credit. He wanted to be known for what he did. Now, the Murr building had a small group in it. Is at Waco, Texas, were in, and I will post a picture here. And so he thought it was the perfect building to blow up. So he did. There were fatalities. Some were children. There was a daycare in the bottom of the building. It was a really big thing. I know my dad alone said that I believe he was at OU's campus at the time, if I'm right, and I'm pretty sure that he said that he had felt the ground shake. So it was really big, very tragic. So, you know, things like this have happened before. You know, we do have 9/11. So it's definitely just something that hit Oklahoma hard, and we now have a memorial run for every year. Now, I will explain now my experience at the marathon and the experience I had running it. So, and I might get choked up, so I have no personal connection to anybody that was affected by the Memorial Marathon. Personally, I am from Oklahoma. This is home for me, so an attack on your home like that is devastating, but I cannot act like I have the same heartache as people who were, you know, who lost friends and family in it. And the reason I'm talking so slow is because I'm really trying to go about explaining this the most respectful way and get the facts as close as I can. However, I might get choked up a little bit here. So running the marathon was one of the, I'm already getting choked up, was one of the most amazing experiences. Oh my gosh, just because there was so much energy at the half marathon. So not only is there a lot of good energy at, you know, 5Ks, 7Ks, 10Ks, you know, there's music, everyone's like encouraging you with the line, things like that, but so there was obviously that here. The reason there was so much more energy was, you know, you have all that positivity from that. There were about 26,000 people at the run, so that's so much energy in one area of the city. The reason that it hit me so hard was because so many people there were running for a reason. Now, that was just so amazing and inspirational to me. I remember there were points where I was running downtown and just, the scenery was amazing, but then also all the energy, it overwhelmed me. And there were a few times where I will admit I did want to cry. But I was running, so I was trying to focus on running, and I don't be that weird girl crying for no reason in the middle of a run. But as you're running, you'll see people with shirts that say "In Memorial of," and they'll have a name on it. So they knew this person. It was their father, their husband, their mother, their best friend, their sister, their coworker. And that is just so amazing to me. The fact that 26,000 people, you know, all came together to run for a reason, whether it was for the memorial, to honor someone they knew, to try something new, to push themselves. Just all the energy really overwhelmed me, and it still does. It was just really amazing to see all these people there so full of love and positivity and energy. It just really, really affected me. So, in such a good way. It was such a beautiful run. It was so amazing, and now I do plan on running it every year because it just impacted me so heavily. Very humbling experience. Now, I will talk to you about why it was a kick in the ass. So I had known that this run was April 30th, and I had known I was going to run it since February. Now, I ran all of 4 times for this run, and that is all the running I did in this period. So there's one day where I ran, okay, 5 times, I guess I should say. So one run, I did a mile on the treadmill with my friend as a warm-up for the workout, and that was in about February. A little bit later in February, I ran a 1.5 miles of intervals on the treadmill. After that, I did do a 4-mile run in March, and then in late March, I did a 7-mile run. I think this was actually early April is when I did the 7-mile run. So that's 4 runs. That is all I did. Now, the only ones I did in preparation for the half marathon was the 4-mile run in March and the 7-mile run in early April. These runs felt great. 7-mile, it definitely hurt my hips, my ankles. I was a runner in high school, so since I haven't run, my ankles, I can definitely feel they've gotten really weak. So I could feel that the 7-mile run and my hips as well. After I finished, they were like locked up and they hurt so bad. But I didn't do another one. Now, I did post on Instagram and talk about, yeah, 10-mile run tomorrow, this and that. I'd always intended to. I just never got around to it because, like, who wants to just run 10 fucking miles? I didn't. So, oh my goodness, it killed me. So I hadn't run for about a month before this half marathon. Now, like I said, had always intended to. I just never got around to it. So it kicked my ass, let me tell you. Now, the first 7 miles were great. Like, I was running, like, I was set on a 9:30 pace. I was running 8:15, 8:30 miles. There's a point where I would even drop into the 40s, and I was like, hey, slow down, you're gonna kill yourself. So, first 6 miles was, like, amazing. It was a breeze. Time went by, like, nothing. It felt amazing. And 7-mile hit, and I kind of started to feel like, okay, you know, it's, you know, my body's realizing what's happening. And after that, mile 8 this is where it went downhill. Mile 8, so it got really hard. Mile 9.5, I did stop to stretch my calves and also to reevaluate my entire life, why I was here. And then I stopped again at mile 10.5, mile 11, and then I stopped about mile 12.5, and it's 13.1, and then I stopped again, no. I stopped at mile 9.5, 10.5, 11, and then I stopped again at like 12.7. Like, I was like a 1/4 mile away from the finish, and I didn't know. And I asked one of the pacers, I said, hey, how far do we have left? He said, oh, a few blocks. He said like 5 blocks. So I was like, shit, I need a break. So I stopped, and I got back up, and right when I turned around the corner, it was like probably like 400 yards down, and I was like, you're shitting me. So, of course, I did stop, but I paced pretty good that last like half mile and the 1/4 mile. When I did turn the corner, I saw the pacers and I saw the finish line, so I was determined. So I sprinted and I sprinted and I sprinted and I passed the pacer, and I finished my first half marathon. I believe it was 2:14. And for only actually training 2 days, and for only running 4 days since knowing I had been signed up for it, I was really, really, really proud of myself. I was so happy. Oh my gosh, I honestly don't think I've felt that like sense of accomplishment in anything in my life. And then at the end, just sitting there is really cool too, because when people finish, they're, you know, dancing and they're excited. So it's really fun. Now, they also handed out free burgers, so it was freezing. So I had this like foil wrap around me they were handing out because it was so cold, and I kept seeing people walk with burgers. Well, I didn't have any money on me, so I asked him, I said, hey, where was it? How much was it? And he said they're free. So you know that I found the energy, and I ran my ass down to that burger stand, and I got a burger, and they had these bags, and it had like banana, some Oreos, and then some other, like, it was a better snack for me than Oreos. and then chocolate milk, and I downed all of it. I ate the cheeseburger in like 2 seconds, and I looked like a gremlin because I was wrapped up in this foil against the fence because it was so cold, like this, eating a burger. So I downed the burger, drank the chocolate milk, drank some water, ate the banana, ate the Oreo. That was the first time I'd had Oreos in probably a year. But well worth it, my friends, well worth it. Now, it was a pain in the ass. I don't recommend doing it like this for obvious reasons. Most people, and I'm not like tooting my own horn, most people would not have been able to finish it. The only reason I did was because I ran cross country in high school, all throughout high school, and I ran track most of my high school career. So I have distance in me. It's definitely still in my muscle memory. So that's the only reason I think I even finished it. You know, especially in the amount of time without, you know, any real training. I did have a blast though. Like I said, the reason I don't recommend doing this way, aside from obvious reasons, is because my calves and my hips were so tight. So my hips were really in a lot of pain for the next day, and my calves were so tight for the next 4 days that I was waddling around. There's a bagel shop that I frequent near my work, and they even asked me like, hey, what is wrong with you? And I was like, I ran the half marathon and I didn't train for it. So my calves, I mean, the next day I got out of bed, my boyfriend was up, and I had got out of bed to go to work, and I had fallen, caught myself on the wall in the bed because my calves were so tight I couldn't, like, they couldn't, you know, I couldn't stand up. And so I woke him up and he was like, babe, are you okay? And I was like, no, I can't walk. And it was miserable for 4 days. My calves were so miserably tight. It was just so painful. I actually took a salt bath for the first time. I hate baths in general. I took a salt bath. And then I also bought Tiger Balm. And for 3 nights, I just coated my legs in it. It was the most painful thing in my life. But so worth it. So, like I said, to recap, this is slightly my memorial to Oklahoma. This is a beautiful state that I do love, and it is home. I will continue to run the memorial every year. Now next year I want to do half again, and after that I might attempt the full. Now I do want to powerlift, but I do want to continue running. This was just such an amazing event for me. Like I said, the energy and the love was just so overwhelming, and so I want to do more. So I will be doing the half marathon this year in Lawton, Oklahoma, and it is a Cancer Foundation run, and I will talk more about that at that time, and I will actually train for that. So I'm gonna run that. I want to do 2 half marathons a year, and then eventually I would like to do 1 full marathon a year, and this is among my powerlifting training. So very happy, amazing event. I definitely recommend trying it, if anything, not necessarily the Oklahoma City half. Now this is also a Boston Marathon qualifying run. That is why it is so big. So like I said, if you really like pushing yourself, seeing what your body is capable of, and this doesn't matter what sport, if you play football, basketball, if you are a Ollie lifter, if you're a weightlifter, if you're a powerlifter, like CrossFit or whatever, I recommend doing a half marathon just because if you really are an intense athlete and you love pushing yourself and seeing what your body's capable of, I think this is an amazing way. I mean, 13 miles is a lot to run. And then you think about like the full marathons, those people who run the 50 milers and the 100 milers, it's insane. So, you know, it's definitely an amazing cause. And you can find marathon runs and half marathons, even 5 and 10Ks all around you that all go towards a charitable cause. So I definitely recommend, you know, maybe just doing a local charity run, see what you are capable of, and, you know, you'll feel a lot of love while you're there. So that is it. I'm going to wrap up this video. I hope I can edit it short, but I really, really wanted to pay respects to the Oklahoma City Memorial and to all the families affected by it. So in that case, like I said, I will wrap this up because I'm sure you're sick of me, you know, sitting on my couch, drinking my coffee and talking. So I'm going to let you guys go. Check back in next week. It will be my first powerlifting video and a bulk video, and I will get into that then. You'll have to check it out to know what I'm really talking about. So check back in next week so we can all get a little stronger together, and check out my new videos because I will have additions coming. I will have additional videos coming up very soon, aside from me just like talking, eating, and lifting all the time. So make sure to check those out. It might have to do with like Munchie Mondays, where like I talk about food, and maybe like an Informative Friday where I talk about supplements and my thoughts on nutrition and the fit world, whatever. Who knows? You'll have to check it out to really know what I'm talking about, even though I just told you exactly what it is. Check it out anyways. Check back in next week so we can all get stronger together. Make sure to spread the love and wellness to everyone you see. Bye, guys.